2183. In an effort to finally stop the war, using every ship and model the Space Corps had ever produced, Operation Last Dance is initiated. Welcome to the end of the R-Type saga. Let's play R-Type Final. Now, I've listened to all of your various votes, and we've got a decent number of interesting ships lined up to see. Looking at the game, there's a lot of things you can do. Go through a tutorial, select pilot, which is essentially loading a save game. Save, options. What kind of options are there? I forget. It's been a while. Data and gallery. The data lets you go to the art museum. It also shows things like the Bido lab. See how long this takes to load. I completely forget what's in half of these options. Oh, this is like talking about all the enemies and everything. Well, that's kind of neat. I probably shouldn't look around in here too much then. But the POW armor, as you saw there, is actually... It is the little power-up thing that's been flying around since the very first R-Type game. You shoot it, you get a power-up. Gallery, awards, score attack versus mode, but I think we're going to go ahead and start us up a game. Now, how this works is, there is the R Museum, which has all of the ships in it, but you have to pull them from the hangar in regular play. So the first thing we're going to do is set ourselves up for the very first run through the game. And the very first ship is the R9A Arrowhead. So go ahead and put that one in. Next up is another one that actually got kind of high up there. If you look at this whole tree, though, you can see the various design pathways, like going from the R9A to the R9A2, which goes into all of the ships out here. The Princedom is actually, or no, the King's Mind is actually kind of neat. But this takes us over into the Ragnarok, the Leo, and the Leo 2. But then if you keep going down, you get to the R9B instead of just the R9A, which gave us a few. The R9C is actually used up by, it's up here somewhere. But it's actually used up by the R9 Custom, so they had to go straight from B to D, which gave us a whole lot of very interesting ships here. Make our way to the R9E, the R9F, which led to the RX-10. Now the RX-10 led us to the R11 series. It also led us to the TX series, which branched off into a few directions, one of which being the OF series. Then the TP series, where our POW armor is. Also then going into the TL series, which was kind of a transforming robot kind of thing. This little dude here is actually a pretty common enemy in the games. But then going even farther to the RX-12. This is essentially the R12, which then leads to the R13, which is where the Cerberus is. This also then leads into the entire Bido tree. I'll talk a little bit more about Cross the Rubicon in a moment, though. That was that. Oh, hey, actually, let's talk about it right now. Cross the Rubicon. We're going to register this one for 3. Cross the Rubicon was actually originally designed as it was to push the use of Bido technology in the actual ship. It went about doing everything in a completely new way, and the name Cross the Rubicon actually comes from something that I want to say Caesar did, where this one river called the Rubicon was actually a very important river, and in this one war he had to cross this river, but it was kind of understood as being a point of no return. Once he crossed this river, this war was go, and bad things were going to happen. So crossing the Rubicon in the name of this ship was taking that step into combining Bido and human in a way that we may not be able to go back on, and that led us then to the R13 and the entire Bido tree. But after that, let's go back up here on a slightly lighter note to the R9, let's see if I can find it. The R9W, the Wise Man. Now the Wise Man is actually interesting because it has a controllable force shot. Now after that comes the R13B. Wait, no, that was way down here. Also of important note are the Echidna, the Cerberus, which we've played as already, and the Hades, which is an improvement over the Cerberus. The Charon I went with because it is the final ship in the series. Now after the Charon comes the R9DH3. The R9DV2, R9DH3, the Concert Master. And look at the size of the gun on that one. After the R9DH3, the final ship that we are registering right now is, let's see if I can find it, the R9 Leo 2, dubbed the Leo 2. The Leo is the one that we played as, and it was the one that I think won the popular vote, but the Leo 2 was up there as well, and they play very similarly. The Leo 2 is just more powerful. So that said, Let's get this show a-going. Now, in playing as these ships, you can actually customize them. You can change their color. And even the canopy color. Missile select. This one only has 2 different missile selects. Personally, I'm fond of the homing missile. And then the bit select. It only has 2, the round bit and the shadow bit. Produces trails that damage enemy. The most standard, it kind of does a little bit of everything, and then that one sounds interesting. Let's go with the standard for standard's sake, though. That looks interesting. Missile select. I'm fond of that one. Bit select. Let's use the shadow bit on that one. Go with that one, and the shield bit, which supposedly does as good for defense as a force would do. Let's go with the shadow bit, though. The Charon. I'm always fond of the forward-shooting ones. I've never been super fond of the ground-based missiles. Oh, I guess I don't have a choice on this one. Well, let's go with that one. And then the R9 Leo 2. Get us some forward-shooting things. And the Cybits Plus, a more powerful version of the Cybits from R-Type Leo. So that said, let's get this a-going. Now, I cannot beat this game on human difficulty. So I'm not playing it on human difficulty. I'm gonna play it on kids difficulty. I at least like to think I'm a little bit better than baby. And so, after about 20 minutes, let's head on into stage 1. And we begin! Now this game actually gives you controllable speed. So you don't even have to get speed power-ups, and you don't have to worry about being overly speedy. It's kinda nice. I tend to sit around at 4 pretty often. Aha, and then I had lasers, and then you were, like, big and kinda mean. I don't know what I'm doing, but I kind of want you to die. I think, can you die? Yes, I can, and then we had a DNA beam! Now, R-Type Final, this is Operation Last Dance. This is the final of the official Bido missions. Neither the humans nor the Bido is holding up terribly well, and this mission is designed to put an end to the entire thing. To finally end it all. Kind of alright with neither of those. I'm kind of happy with my DNA beam. Take some missiles, though. And say hello to our first mini-boss. You can see my charge beam actually does go up to 2-loop max, so it'll go up to high and then charge up all the way. And then I will continue shooting. And then I kind of don't want to get shot by those. I'm just gonna stay back over here. Like, try not to get hit by your, I want that, give that, give. And then I had a bit. There we go. This is officially where the final mission starts, though. We enter this small, ruined building. I'm not even sure what it is. It looks like a collapsed space station. Like an entire space station that made planetfall and crashed. I mean, what with the buildings everywhere, and it's kind of round nature, which I think is kind of how R-Type does the space station, space colony kind of thing. Space colony, let's go with that. It's a fallen space colony. I assume it fell because of a Bido attack, which is why then it's so infested with Bido. And why this is where our mission begins. I don't think those lasers can hurt you, but I'd rather not find out. Now, on Kids difficulty, a couple things happen. One of the first things that happen is when you die, you keep your crap. Thank you. That's like the one thing that really ever prevented me from beating R-Type legit. And thus we come to our first boss. If you die, you keep your crap. And also, if you die, you have infinite lives. Well, essentially. Now, this guy, he does things. He makes little spiky things, he'll spawn little Bido dudes. Kinda like this. It'd be really nice if you'd stop, like, making yourself visible right when I'm in the worst possible situation to do anything about it. I like how he even kind of blows back his own things. Now, the R9A, it's actually a pretty old ship by this point. There we go, that'll do her. It's a pretty old ship by this point, though. A little outdated. There have been so many updates to it. Yay! And onwards to Stage 2, where we will be going with the TP2, the POW armor. Now, when you start out, you actually keep all of the... You keep the stage that you were at of all of your things. If that makes any sense at all. No, it doesn't. You have just as many bits, your force is just as powerful, everything as you were on a previous ship when you change ships. It's actually kind of nice. I like his little heartbeat thing here. It's kind of neat. Also, it'd be nice if I could hit you. You do still die if you hit, like, ground or anything. And then I just kind of flew into that one. But even if you die, you keep your crap. It's kind of great. I do have a life counter. I technically don't have infinite lives, but I have infinite continues. And the continues, at the very least on easy mode, it's kind of funny, and I'm not sure how much I like that. Seems reasonably powerful, though. But at the very least, on easy mode here, it will... Continuing will take you back to your checkpoint in the level, not even your actual ending. Or not even the beginning of the stage. So it's between kind of essentially the infinite lives and the fact that I keep my crap when I die. This game is actually pretty enjoyable and pretty playable. Now, one really neat thing about this stage in particular is the boss of this stage actually determines the climate of the stage. How does that work, you might ask? Well, it works in an interesting way in that you can't actually determine the climate of this stage when you play it. And I shoot Bido at you. It's actually, like, kind of powerful. This also goes up to multiple loops. I don't know why we shoot Bido out. I guess we just kind of do. You can go up to multiple loops with this weapon, which I would like to try to show off. Crap. Is there a way for me to kill you? Please be a way for me to kill you. This is not going to end well for me. I really needed, like, my force behind me. That's kind of what I needed there. I needed my force behind me. There we go. Okay, now let's try to charge this son of a gun up. Crap. Now let's try to charge this son of a gun up. There we go. So much Bido! And we arrive at the boss. Now, interesting thing about this boss is you'll see the little, like, red things come out of the top and bottom, or red and blue thing come out of the top up there. That actually determines the climate of this stage. You have to beat the boss, though, and then play the stage again. Let's make it colder. The weakness to the boss is the little, like, yellow thing over on the other side, which means we're going to want to get over there. And I'm going to want to not get, like, murdered, sorta, over here. Where are you coming out? Back on that side? Back on that side again. Whoa! Go bit! Tried to poo on me. There we go. Coming out back over here? Yes, you are. Now, the first few stages are pretty easy. You just keep coming out over here, and I'm alright with that. Does my charge shot go through him? Because if it goes through him, then... No, it doesn't. This boss is, like, infinitely easier if you have an attack that... Oops. Shoot at me, so that's kind of great. That was well thought out. That was me being stupid. I'm realizing more and more that this little, like, ship here is actually pretty terrible for this boss. I'd very much like to change the climate, though. So there, I guess we're making the climate warmer. Now let's charge up again. Thing with a charge shot is easily the best strategy against him. Your regular attack surprisingly does, like, almost no damage. Oh great, you're on the other side of him now. I'm trying to destroy these little things, because the more of them I destroy, the less of them shoot once they're all out and about. Now I'm gonna have to actually get over here. and just kind of hang out over here. Okay, can you? Please come back out on this side, please. 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 Thank you. You're very nice, you know that? That'll do her! Finally.